You started throwing your hands at KG. Do you think that's sort of the way to go on a deck and against attack, that every ball kind of feels like it could be a wicket?
I did for me when I was batting. I think everyone else will kind of work out their own method. But yeah, it didn't work for me. Kind of missed the half volley and leg stump, unfortunately.
Just the pace at which this game has gone, Pat, do you think just the Alex Carey, Mitchell Starc partnership sort of switched the momentum towards you guys? And did you feel I saw more people appear on the balcony all of a sudden during that partnership. Was that the mood? Because the wickets had fallen so quickly till that point.
Yeah, I think that, the room and the mood in the change room was pretty positive towards the end there. It was a great partnership, 50 odd. So yeah, with each run, it was almost like a run chase. You're like, okay, that's good. 4 runs, getting pretty loud claps, especially from Marnus. He's always pretty noisy. But yeah, no, it was, I think, a pretty good way to end the day. Yeah.
Particularly on Carey, Pat, he seems to either come in when there's big scores on the board and have to accelerate the game, or in a tricky situation like that. How valuable is he to the team, particularly in the tricky situations?
Oh, it seems like number 6 and 7's, always the trickiest place to bat. And 5, I think Trav Head's done over the years. Bo's played some crucial knocks lately, and Kez has been brilliant. He's dragged us out of that. He bats brilliantly with the tail as well, kind of leading that partnership. So again, another valuable partnership when, puts the pressure back on the opposition when it seems like, they're on top. He was brilliant today.
Pat, going into the test, you said you were hoping that Marnus would kind of show a fair bit of intent and be positive out there. What did you make of his performance, and where does it leave him, do you think, with his place in the team?
Yeah, I think first of all, middle of a test match, so we'll work that out, later on. But I thought he's looked sharp both innings. Again, some really good bowling. He batted some tough overs. I think he looked busy and looked like he had a really good plan. So, I thought he batted well both innings. No doubt he would have liked to go on, but he got himself in, faced quite a few balls, and looked in command of his skills out there. Unfortunately, kind of both innings found a way.
Pat, 300 test wickets, and you join 7 other Australians to do that. What does that mean to reach that milestone?
It's really cool. Knowing there's not too many on that list. I think as a fast bowler as well, 300s, something I always kind of thought about as, pretty good sign of kind of durability and, resilience and, longevity. I feel pretty proud to join that group.
Pat, can we just start with the match situation? 218 ahead on a pitch things are moving quickly. How do you feel you're placed?
Yeah, it's, ideally probably, have a few more wickets in the shed. But, I think the trend of the game is the runs are coming down. It's still pretty difficult out there. So, I think it's set up pretty well for a day 3 finish, you'd imagine, tomorrow. I think we're going to have to bowl well still in the 4th innings.
Just on the 300, did you think when you started out, if I get to 300, I'll be near the end? It seems like there's quite a few years yet to go for you.
Well, thanks, Dan. Appreciate that. I think so. I've had a really good run the last half a dozen years or so of not missing too many games. For the first few years, I didn't know where my second test match was coming. So I still feel like I've got lots of miles in the legs. So I remember. Gaz's up past 500. It felt like, back in the day, 300 felt like you're close to the end. Starkey's still, he's almost 400. So, hopefully I don't feel like I'm going to end anytime soon. But, again, I think, the medical staff, I really need to thank, the way they looked after me in the early years and continually to get through a test match, the way they manage the fast bowlers, I think, a lot of that is a nod to them as well.
Can you just talk us through the Bettingham handled the ball situation? Did you withdraw the appeal?
Yeah, well, the umpires said it was dead ball, first of all, but I think we probably would have withdrawn. Yeah.
Hi, Pat. So 2 best test teams in the world, and people are struggling to score runs. The wicket doesn't look devilish. So can you explain what's going on?
I think it's, a mixture of, the wicket's still doing a little bit. It feels like just when it's not doing anything, one ball will suddenly seem quite drastically. But I think both teams bowled really well, really disciplined. Haven't been too many half volleys. Both teams are kind of just hanging in that good length area, pretty tight line. So I think it's the fast bowling. South Africa today again they look pretty tricky, and the wickets got enough in it to make it even more tricky.
And it's been really exciting. The crowd was really into it today as the wickets were falling. But it looks like it's going to be a 3-day finish. Do you think that it has so far lived up to its billing as the pinnacle of Test cricket?
Going to day 2, I think it's, pretty close to 50-50. I think that's a pretty good Test match. I think that's the beauty. You get all Test matches look a little bit differently, but I think whenever there's a pretty good balance between bat and ball, I think it's always a pretty good match. And I think this game, some guys have got themselves in and look pretty comfortable out there, and obviously a lot of other guys haven't. So I think it's been a pretty good balance.
Pat, before you went out to bat, did you have a score in mind, and where would you put that now that you'd be happy with?
Not really. I think initially probably when I walked out, anything over 200. So good to get over that, but you just want to get as many runs as you can. So happy that we got 200. Hopefully we get another 20 or 30 in the morning. That'd be good. I think that would give us a few more options to bowl. A few more aggressive fields and those kind of things. So I think see how we go, but happy to have it over 200.